First in the barn, Marion Webster from Chelmsford, who's arrived with a family keepsake that's had more than its share of ups and downs. Ready to give it a spin? Wood restorer Will Kirk.
Hello there.
Hello.
Welcome to the barn.
Thank you.
What do we have in the bag?
I have my grandfather's Diablo.
Diablo, look at that.
Yes. This is about 120 years old.
Is it? So how does this work then?
So you'd put this centre bit on a string. It used to have two handles. And you have to balance it on and roll it, and then you can flick it up and catch it if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Which I never was.
Well, I can see that.
Yeah. I dropped it quite a lot. Then my daughter played with it. Then I thought, hold on, this is quite old.
Yeah.
I don't want it ruined, because my grandfather, I was very close to him.
What was his name?
Thomas. And he was born in 1892. He actually named me.
Really?
Yeah. When I was born, we lived in a little village that was cut off by snow.
Yeah.
And my mother traipsed to my grandma's farmhouse. And I was born there, laid in a drawer, because there was no cot. And he kept coming in saying, how's my little maid Marion? And my mother wanted to call me Beverly.
Really?
So I got stuck with Marion.
With Marion. Oh, that's lovely. Mm. So you spent quite a lot of time with your grandparents?
Every weekend.
How old were you when you first laid eyes on this?
Probably about 3. I used to play with it, and Grandfather would say, well, be careful, because that was mine as a child.
Yeah.
But I let you play with it. And then it would go outside in the back garden on the concrete, and I tended to ruin it slightly.
Yeah.
But I did play with it a lot.
As soon as you mentioned concrete, I think that kind of explains why.
Yes. It's a mess.
Yeah. Do you think your grandfather was upset with the fact that you chipped it
I
so
think
much?
deep down, but he loved me too much. He never told me off. I mean, I think people would have probably thrown it away by now. But to me, that's my granddad's toy. Yeah. The only thing he kept as a child, from a childhood.
Yeah. How old were you when he passed away?
13. It was very tough. Felt like my heart was ripped out. It was hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it always amazes me how an object like this can bring back all the memories in the past, still brings back that rawness.
I mean, it's 52 years ago he passed away, but to me it was like yesterday. He was a good man.
At the moment, this looks rough and ready.
It does.
What condition would you like this restored in?
I would actually like this paint to come off, probably, because I think back in the day they used lead in the paint. I would just love it all painted and the 2 stripes again renewed on there.
It doesn't just come with one part, right? There's a string with handles as well.
I haven't got them anymore.
You haven't got those anymore? Where are they now?
Unfortunately, disintegrated.
OK, fine.
They were too old.
If I can fix this for you, are you actually going to play with it?
No.
No? Really?
No, never. I want to hand it to my grandson Joshua.
OK.
So that'd be 5th generation.
5 generations?
Yeah.
My gosh.
And he loves it, and I know he'll look after it. But I don't want to give it to him in a mess.
No.
That's the thing. I'd love him to see it in its glory, how it would have been back in the day.
Well, thank you so much for coming down.
Thank you.
And I'll let you know when you can come pick it up.
Super.
Right, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Restoring a Diablo is a first for me. Marion must have played with this quite a lot because there are lots of areas where the wood has chipped off, where this has been dropped on the floor. I need to fill in where the wood has come out. The paint is very dull and flaking off, so that needs to be removed. Sand that smooth and then paint it. So lovely sort of fresh white paint and then a lovely red pinstriping around the outside as well. It must have been quite a cool toy to have, but we are missing 2 sticks and some string. So we need to turn up 2 new sticks so that wood lathe will be coming out. Marion mentioned this might be painted with lead-based paint, so I need to remove this very carefully. Instead of sanding this, I thought I'd use some paint stripper to remove it because sometimes sanding can release those little tiny particles into the air, whereas with a stripper, it kind of contains it all within that gel. When I move the brush across the surface, it's actually easing that paint off of the wood. And you know what, the wood is actually quite beautiful.
He may not be strictly material,
What have you got for me, Jay?
Get your dancing shoes on, that's all I'm saying.
but Dean Westmoreland is an expert cobbler. Just the man to help sisters Fiona McCafferty and Janice MacDonald from South Lanarkshire.
Get out. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Very good.
Hello.
So, what have you brought us in?
We've brought our mum's dance shoes in.
Wow.
They won't fit you, Dean, don't worry.
No.
And Mum's name?
Mum's name was Betty.
Okay.
Her and my dad were very, very keen dancers.
So where did she meet your dad then?
At the dance halls in Glasgow, there was a big thing. That's where she met my dad.
Fabulous dancers.
They were fabulous dancers
Yeah.
together, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, growing up, what was Mum like? Was she dancing all the time?
She was very outgoing, great personality. Just remember lots of happy times when she was in the house with us, when we were all grown up. And she was always fun, good fun,
Great
wasn't
fun.
she?
Great fun, and always music on in the house.
So even when Mum had children,
Yes.
and how many of
There's
you
four
were?
of us.
There's four. So
Yeah.
she still continued to dance as well?
She gave up, I would say, when Fiona was born, because it then got just a bit much having 3 children. So she stopped then, and that it was later on that she went back.
Yeah.
Scottish dancing, tap dancing. The last dance she had would have been at my 60th birthday. Even then, she was up.
She was still dancing?
We were holding her up, but she was up.
But she gave it a go.
She gave it, oh yes,
Oh, bless her.
absolutely.
So how come you've got these shoes then?
Well, these shoes always lay in the bottom of Mum's wardrobe.
Right.
And as young kids, we used to go upstairs and we would put the shoes on and then be terrified that our little toes would, you know, poke through these bits, but yet they've just always been in the house.
Okay.
So when Mum passed away, I took them home.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe one day we can get these sorted. You know, it's quite incredible. You look at the shoes and you can still see Mum's, you know, where her toes were on the front.
Yeah.
You just look at the shoes and you just suddenly think, Mum,
Yeah.
you know, it's just incredible.
Do you know when she got these?
I think maybe about late 40s, early 50s.
I mean, they are pretty bedraggled. The buckles don't open.
Can I have a look?
Absolutely.
They're very dainty, aren't they?
Do you remember how they looked when you was younger?
They stood up and all of this threading was really, really silver.
So all the straps were sparkly. Has some of that come out or come off?
Or the
silver
majority
stuff,
of it, yeah, has come off.
So you don't want to put these back into the cupboard? You want to do what?
No, absolutely not. So we're all going to have a turn of having them and have them sitting out.
I think they're a good representation of what she was in her life,
Yeah.
what she loved to do,
Yeah.
and her personality. So, yeah, to see them restored would just be absolutely amazing.
Amazing.
Listen, thank you both for bringing these in.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Take care now.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
very
Thank
much.
you.
Bye-bye. Have you worked on shoes like this before?
Not this delicate.
All right. Now they've got to go on your bench.
Thanks, mate. These shoes are quite incredible, really. To be around 80 years old and still be pretty much intact. There is quite a lot of silver thread missing by the looks of it, which I imagine when these shoes were in the prime and Betty was wearing them on the dance floor really reflected the light. And that's probably the biggest job I'm going to have to do, is kind of re-thread all that through each of these straps where it's missing. The buckles are very rusted, a little bit of wear on the heel. So I'm going to go in and clean all the parts of the shoe. I'm going to remove them buckles and try and de-rust them. I'm going to put them in some de-rusting solution here and leave them for a while. I'm used to working on leather shoes, so to be working with fabric is something I don't deal with very, very often. I guess the main worry is, can I do the shoes justice and can I get them back to how Fiona and Janice remember them? It's going to be quite the challenge, but I'm more than up for it.
Will's paint removal has revealed the Diablo's original beechwood surface, but it's seen better days.
I'm just mixing up my filler because I'm about to fill all of those little dents on the Diablo. I could patch these missing areas with solid wood, but in order to get those right in place, I'd need to flatten off different areas, remove more of the original, and I don't want to do that. Usually I try to keep as much of the original piece as I can, you know, all the sort of knocks and scratches, but Marion has asked if I can make this look new again. This is really fiddly work, but I want to make sure that I cover all of those areas of loss and damage. But when all the filler has dried, I can then sand it back nice and smooth. The smoother the surface, the better the paint finish. I did quite a lot of research into the missing sticks for the Diablo and what they should look like. One end, it needs to be more robust, and that's the bit that you hold on to. Then it sort of tapers down to the tip. Now, one tip that I learned years ago was to keep all of my shavings, because whilst the wood is turning on the lathe, you can actually rub the shavings against the wood, and it forces the oils back into the wood, and it burnishes the surface, so you get this really nice sheen to it. Now that I've turned the two new sticks, I've drilled a tiny hole in the top. I now need to mark up for the hole that goes into the side. So the idea is the string goes through the top and out the side. I'm going to be really careful with this because if I get too carried away with the drill, I end up drilling straight through the other side. So I'm really going to take my time with this and make sure I get it right the first time round. Almost like threading a needle, very fine work. Come on, cheeky monkey. Really tricky to get this out the other side. Oh. Here it comes. Hey, there we are. Now what I've done is I've used two different drill bit sizes, a thinner one for the top and a slightly larger one on the side. So in theory, if I tie the knot to the right size, I should be able to pull it into that hole there, and the whole side will then be flush. Oh, look at that. Sometimes I surprise myself. So if I cut off that excess string, perfect. Look at that. Clicks in place. That's one side done. I now need to thread this through the other stick, and then we're good to go.
It's me. Richard, this looks like one for you.
What have you got?
I wish I knew.
It's a telescope.
Bits of one.
It's a bit scruffy, but it's not dented.
Well, let's meet the lady that owns it.
Yeah.
The last visitor to the barn is Katie Barnett from Bristol, with a childhood treasure set to challenge optics expert Richard Biggs.
Hi, welcome to the barn. You okay?
Hello.
Hello, nice to meet you.
So this must be yours.
Yes, yes. So this is the telescope that my dad, Charlie, bought for me when I was 13 or 14.
Lucky girl.
Yeah.
Good one, yeah.
Yeah.
I told my dad that I was really interested in astronomy, and just out of the blue, he brought home a telescope for me. And he was so lovely, really encouraging, and that's a lot of the reason why he also bought the telescope for me, to inspire me. We were quite often in the kitchen looking up through the window, and it was sort of perfect viewing.
Yeah.
And we spotted Jupiter. So
The first thing you saw.
that was one of the first things that we saw, and I remember it being a really lovely memory that I have of my dad. Yeah.
Has it not been used since your early teens then?
So when I was 19, sadly, we lost my dad due to a short illness.
Bless him.
And since then, it's been in storage, and it's been knocked about a bit and sort of trampled on. And
Why have you decided to get this fixed now?
so my little boy, Alfie, became really interested in space and things like that. So he's been nagging me to get this fixed.
Oh, that makes it more worthwhile if a little one's interested.
Yeah, it's really hard to think, you know, that my dad never got to meet my children. And
Yeah.
And this is something that really brings that connection alive again between my dad and my son, and nothing better than using a telescope that, you know, that brings the two together, so...
Yeah, it can make the connection with your son to your dad.
Yeah,
And, yeah, to granddad.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the dream is that I can use it again. So it's in working condition, and...
So it's not really cosmetic, it's more getting it working.
Yes, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Making sure it's all there. And
Yeah, and see what my dad and I used to see,
Yes,
and...
same things, yeah.
Yeah, and now bringing that alive with my son, so, yeah.
it's magic.
Yeah.
Katie, it's been lovely to meet you. Leave it with us.
Thank you so much.
That's all right. We'll see you later.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Right, let's get this to your bench.
Yes, please.
Shall I take this
you
bit?
take that bit, yes, please.
That's not fragile, is it?
Yes, but you're careful with it. This is quite a nice size. You can imagine Katie at a 13-year-old being given this, especially when Katie and her dad just looked at the moon and got that wow. That just captures the imagination. The issue that's concerning me a little bit is the tripod stand. The tripod's got to be quite solid to stop everything shaking. Problem area is really coupling that plate to the other two legs. That tripod is going to take quite a bit more thought and effort to make it really stable. Now, this secondary mirror in there has got some dust on it, and if that lens is mucky, it's going to actually stop some of the light. It has to be as crystal clear as possible for Katie and Alfie to get the best from this. So the first thing I've got to do is get that lens out, have a look how much it needs to be cleaned. So, here it's coming. Got it. And there it is. Oh, golly. You see how mucky that is? I'm going to start with some gentle methylated spirits on a cotton bud, and I've got to be very gentle because this is silver surfaced. Risk as few scratches as possible. Dean has waltzed his way through cleaning and rehealing the 1940s shoes. But finding a way to restore the silvery thread in their straps is leading him a merry dance.
I know it's important to Fiona and Janice that these sparkle again, like they did in the heyday when Betty wore them and danced in them. I've managed to source this metallic ribbon. On a couple of bits on the upper strap, I have tried stitching with this ribbon. After 2 or 3 stitches, the ribbon starts to twist, and because it's metallic, it stays in that twist, and it just snapped, which was very frustrating. It's just something I've never, ever done before. It's a real conundrum for me. I'm at a bit of a crossroads, really, as to how I approach this. Luckily, the band's master hatter, JS, is in today. He does a lot of hand sewing, a lot of embroidery. He's very, very skilled, so I'm going to go ask his opinion. Hello, JS.
Hey, Dean.
Got a bit of a problem here.
Okay.
If you've got a minute.
Yes, of course. Let's have a look.
So I've managed to source this, but I'm having trouble sewing it. It kind of snaps and twists.
So you have already tried threading it?
Yeah, unsuccessfully, yes.
Okay. So maybe we should think about doing the opposite. What I would do is wrap the silver over the fabric and then work the stitching over it, like black stitching over it. And that way we'll be able to achieve the exact effect that the woven bit is creating.
Oh, I see. So the black thread will create these little gaps. That's genius, actually. I think we should give that a go.
Okay, so let me give it a trial. I think the crucial thing here is, obviously, they are at a right angle, and the gap between them is exactly the same as the way it is on the original. So here we go. So that's the first one. I'm just going to do another one, just to... There we go.
Ah, I see. That's very clever. Shall I get my needles and thread and jump in on it then?
Yeah, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Together.
Yeah.
I'm just tapping down this silver thread. Some of it was sat a little bit proud, so I'm just pressing it into the black fabric there. It's such an involved process, I really don't think I could have got it done on my own. I'd now like to have a look at these insoles. So the insoles are very worn. However, it was pointed out to me that these marks around the front are from Betty's toes. They actually have a footprint in the insoles. So it doesn't feel right to then take that out and replace with new. And with that in mind, I'm going to leave the insoles and go around and glue the little bits where it's coming away. Now, the footprint is kind of almost embossed into the insole of the shoe. So although I am going to recolour that insole black, none of that impression is going to be lost. I'm just going to use my awl to feed little bits of glue in, just to secure those loose bits. After such an involved process with the thread and the fabric straps, it's really nice actually to be working on some leather again. This is more familiar territory for me. So I'm going to do the same on the other shoe and just go around the whole insole and re-stick any bits that are coming loose. Once that's done, I can then concentrate on colouring that insole and getting it a nice deep black again.
With the base colour on the Victorian Diablo complete, Will's last job requires a steady hand.
Now that the Diablo has this lovely off-white colour, I'm pinstriping. I've done my best to match the paint to the same colour that used to be on the Diablo. I've got a beautiful, almost sort of post-box red colour here. It's really tricky because it's a cone shape. It's incredibly hard to get those lines absolutely spot on. So I've used a ruler to make some dots. Then I've joined up those dotted lines, and that's given me a line that runs right around the outside surface. Right, fiddly work. Here goes nothing. I can finally breathe. I had to hold my breath a lot of that. I can almost imagine what it would have looked like when Marion was a child and she first played with this. But with this great enamel paint, it's really hard wearing, so it will be good for many more years to come, and I really hope that it brings back some of those happy childhood memories for her. Well, that's one line done. I've still got 3 more to go, very time-consuming, but I'm hoping my patience is going to pay off.
When Marion brought the Victorian Diablo to the barn, it was in a sorry state from years of childhood play. A precious reminder of her beloved grandfather, she's entrusting it to grandson Joshua, who's with her today, to collect this piece of family history.
Hi there. You must be Josh.
Yes, I am.
Lovely to meet you. I'm Will. Marion, lovely to see you again.
Nice to see you again, Will.
You excited?
I'm nervous. I've been nervous ever since I've left it.
Really, why?
It's leaving part of my granddad somewhere and the history.
You heard a story about the Diablo and where it came from and how much it means.
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been around all my life, and I know how much it means to my grandma, and it will really mean a lot to me as I'm getting to take it home with me. Just very excited to see it.
I know he will look after it, so it'll be 5th generation and it will still be in the family.
Would you like to see what I've done?
I'd love to.
Oh, wow.
No.
It looks incredible.
Oh, my goodness me. Oh, you've done amazing.
Return
can't
to its former
believe it.
glory.
Paintwork is immaculate. It looks how I've just gone back to when I was about 4 or 5. Wow. Sorry. Can I hold it?
Yeah, of course.
Look at that. Oh, my goodness me. I'm in shock.
I tried my best to keep within the sort of Victorian feel of things. The paint is new, but not containing any lead, and the red paint has all been hand-painted on.
Wow. I just can't get my head round it because the bit that was gouged out, it's gone.
And I knew that you can actually use this without sticks, so I turned you up
Oh, wow.
to new sticks as well.
As you've done so much hard work on it, and you've made it perfect again, would you do the honours of giving it to Joshua?
Yeah, definitely. Over to the 5th generation, there you go.
Really
Thank you.
nervous to even be holding it. I'm really honoured to be able to take it with me. I've already got some pieces from my great-grandma. I keep on a shelf with some of my other display pieces, and this will go right alongside that as a real piece of family history that I can treasure.
Lovely young man. Look at this.
He is.
Well, it's lovely to meet you both.
Well, thank you ever so much for everything you've done.
Thank you very much.
Safe travels. Cheers, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. It looks absolutely amazing. The paintwork colour, Will's done a really good job.
I feel privileged that I was the one that was chosen to take care of it in the next leg of its life, now that it's been restored to its former glory.
I wanted it to go to the 5th generation Joshua, because I know Josh is going to look after it and just love it like I do.
Now that the component parts of Katie's telescope are shining bright after a good clean, Richard's next task requires laser focus.
Having got the secondary mirror back in place and the eyepiece holder back in place, I've now got to make sure that they're actually aligned. I'm going to use a laser collimator which sends a red dot down the eyepiece, down to the main mirror, back again to the secondary mirror, back up, and if it's aligned, the red dot will appear in the target. So this goes in and there's the red dot, and it's not collimated. The secondary mirror is not in quite the right position, so at the moment you get a slightly blurred image. It wouldn't be nice and crisp and contrasty. Let me see if I can ease those two off and actually physically move the mirror. Oh, there it is. It's in the middle. It's on the middle now. I can't even see it because it's in the middle of the black dot. So the red dot's gone. I've got to figure out now which screws to adjust to get it to stay there. Play with that just a bit. And it's perfect. It's absolutely where it should be. Telescope's done. I've now got to get on with the tripod, because without the tripod, this thing is impossible to use. If I mounted the telescope on this tripod, it would just collapse. So the reason for it collapsing is that these little brackets and spindles, there's only 3 of those, and there should be 6. And the tray goes in there with a little wing nut and bolt, and the other leg to form that perfect triangle to support the telescope. So I have got to make 3 of those. That's an original one. And that's the one I'm going to use as a pattern. The original thought that was metal. Turns out it's not. It's plastic or nylon. So the solution in this case is wreck one of my kitchen chopping boards. It's flat, but 2 sides. It's the right material. It's going to be very strong. I've got to hold that steady and trace round it. So I'm now going to cut that out. And then I've got little holes to drill and then paint it black. I've made 3 new brackets. I now need to make a new spindle because one is completely missing. So the first thing is to cut exactly 56 millimeters of spindle. As you're getting through, you can actually hear the tone of the sawing change. It should start getting a bit higher pitched. Yeah. They're the brackets that I've made. They go one either side on there, and then feed the spindle through the hinge. And now the spindle is retained inside those brackets, and the brackets now go onto the tripod. That's gone together very well, nice and strong, very happy with that. I've got to do the same on that leg, and then it'll be ready to have the telescope mounted on top.
Dean's work on the dainty Dan shoes is nearly done. Just one last fiddly detail remains.
To put the buckles on, I put them through the same hole, fold the strap around, and then I'm going to stitch it on my machine. It's a very, very fine stitch, and it's quite thick material because the strap is doubled over. So machine stitching is the best option in this case. Surprisingly, this has been probably one of the most difficult pairs of shoes I've ever tried to fix. So many things were outside my comfort zone, even though it is a shoe, and I like to think I know quite a bit about shoes. There's always something that will kind of throw you, and these have certainly done that. So that buckle's on now, nice and secure. All there is to do now is the same job on the other shoe, and they'll be ready to be presented to Fiona and Janice. It's quite exciting.
After decades of twirling on dance floors, these 1940s shoes were worn out, their moment in the spotlight long behind them. Sisters Fiona and Janice have returned, hoping their mum Betty's favourite dancing shoes are now a fitting tribute to a life full of sparkle.
Hello.
Here they are.
How are you?
Welcome back.
Thank you. It's nice to be back.
Good. You look excited.
I'm excited. There's just like a big memory of Mum underneath there, full of her young life, and for us growing up with them. So, yeah, they're very precious.
I think she only had one pair of dancing shoes, and that was them.
Do you want to see?
Yes.
Go on, Nadine.
Shall I do it?
God.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. Oh, they're just exactly like they were.
Unbelievable.
Can I lift them up?
Of course you can.
Oh my goodness, straps.
That's amazing. That's really nice.
My mum would be absolutely
Blown away.
blown away. They're incredible. I can just see her beaming from ear to ear. She would be so over the moon.
It was a bit of a team effort. Dean had some help from Jayesh,
All right.
who some of the fine... well, you can...
The silver thread was very, very tricky.
Tricky. Yeah, absolutely amazing. I can't thank you enough. You've no idea what this means to us.
Just feel really emotional to see them. You know, she meant the world to us, and to have one of our favourite items restored, just amazing.
They're just incredible.
Superb.
back.
Superb.
They're back to stay. Yeah. Can't wait to get them home and
Good.
show them off.
Well, they're over to you. They're all yours.
Are they? Will we take one each?
Is that one each? That's it. Yeah, stop the fighting.
Thank you so much.
Lovely to meet you both.
You too.
See you
Thanks,
later.
Dom. Bye-bye. Mum's shoes are just back to where they started in the 1940s, and I just can't believe how they look. It's incredible.
I just got a big bit of our back again, you know, all the memories we have and all the good times that we've had. We've that back in the form of these shoes that she loved so much. Just feels so good.
As he reaches the end of his repair, Richard's almost got Katie's telescope back on its feet.
So now I can start getting that onto there. Here we go. That's the third leg on. Tighten that up. Stand it up and see if it's all been successful. Here it goes. 1, 2, 3, and wow, yeah. The brackets, yeah, everything's working fine. It's really quite stable. Now I need to put the telescope on, and it'll be ready for Katie and Alfie to start using it. I can have some fun with this.
With the telescope back in one piece, Katie's returned, in the hope this childhood treasure, which meant so much to her and her dad, can reach for the stars once again.
There she is.
Hello.
How you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. You?
Yeah, good.
How you feeling?
Excited, nervous, quite a mixture. And yeah, just even now, just feeling quite Emotional.
So you ready to see it?
Yeah, really excited.
We go for it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, wow. It's amazing. Oh, wow. It's nice to see it back in its former glory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And steady.
Yeah. Just thinking how proud my dad would be right now. Just, he still means so much to me, and he's still around, you know, and make him feel like he's still here a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
I cannot wait just to do this with the kids and keep this up and explore that with them, and yeah, it's going to be brilliant.
Well, you've got the best teacher. Sure you want to show Alfie how to use this.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get it out.
Brilliant,
Well,
thank you.
Thank you for bringing it in, Katie.
No, thank you so much.
All right?
You're welcome.
Really appreciate it.
All right, I'll get the door.
Am I going first? Ladies first. Okay.
It was age before beauty, isn't it?
Yeah, oh, something like that.
There you go, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Right. If I go around the other side.
Seeing Alfie for the first time looking through the telescope was just such a wonderful feeling. Just knowing that, you know, this is the beginning of us using the telescope again.
I can see some
tree.
green bushes.
Bushes. I feel like this is going to bring Alfie and my dad closer together, knowing that it came from, you know, his granddad, and yeah, it's going to be a wonderful feeling.